It's the last week of the regular season. Only 8 teams will be going to Nottingham for the finals weekend. 5 places are confirmed. 3 spaces remain. Who will take them? I'm Andy Day, bringing you week 20 of the England Hockey League preview podcast. And later on, our guest is the Wimbledon Men's coach, Karl Stagno. Before we get underway, a quick recap of Easter weekend's continental adventures. Surbiton's women opened the EHL Final 12 with a thumping 8-0 win over Slavia Prague on the 16th of April. 3 players scored braces in that game: Darcy-born Erica Sanders and Meg Dathwaite. The following day was the next round, at a tight game against Dusseldorfer HC. Lisa Nolte's 2 strikes sandwiching Darcy-born's equaliser on 33 minutes, and Surbiton's progress in the winning bracket came to a close. This set up a meeting with Real Club de Polo, which Surbiton opened the scoring in. Alice Wills with the first goal. 9 minutes from time, Real Club de Polo scored what turned out to be the final goal of the game, the equaliser, coming from Alina Picardo. This sent the match to a shootout, which went to sudden death, the team from Spain getting the shootout win. The men's final 8 had 2 entries from England, Surbiton playing in the opening fixture against SV Kampong. Kip Janssen with 2 quick-fire goals early on set the tone. Jacob Smith pulled one back on the half hour, but Juko Telgenkamp put the game out of reach for Surbiton. 3-1, the final result. Despite going out of the running for the big prize, Surbiton started brightly against Club de Campo in the ranking game. Luke Taylor got the opener. Ricardo Sanchez equalised on 23. Barry Middleton put Surbiton back ahead on 38 and were ahead for 11 minutes until Lucas Garcia squared things up, which took the game to a shootout, which Surbiton's men won 3-2. Old Georgians were keen to make an impact in this season's EHL after last season's medal performance. HC Rotterdam were able to go into half-time 1-0, Gus Janssen with the opener. Ashley Jackson levelled on the 37, but Rotterdam went up a gear to take it to 3-1 via goals from Jeroen Hertzberger and Thijs van Dam. James Carson got it back to 3-2 on 48. This spurred another blitz from Rotterdam. Hertzberger again on 48. Pepin van der Helden on 51 and Dylan Lucia made it 6-2. Sam Ward got some consolation with the final goal of the game. 6-3 the final outcome, and Rotterdam were through. OGs were out. One more game to play, the ranking fixture for Old Georgians, and the opposition coming from Belgium's Royal Leopold. Neither team got 2 goals clear at any time. Verdusen with the 10th minute opener for the Belgian team. Sam Ward equalised on 21. Just 2 minutes later, Nelson Onana put Real Leopold back ahead. Ward scored a second equaliser on 28 to level things up at the break. Somehow, no further scoring until Ashley Jackson's winner for Old Georgians on 54. Congratulations to women's champions and title retainers Den Bosch, debut men's champions Gantoise, and recognise the contribution from the technical table from Annie Hairsine, Ben Redwood, and UK umpires Claire Barwood, Nick Bennett, Rebecca Edwards and Sarah Wilson. Cardiff and Met also played in European competition over Easter, finishing 3rd in the Euro Hockey Club Trophy 1 Men in Northern Ireland. A lot of goals were scored. In the pool, Cardiff and Met beat Italy's Tevere 6-0, lost 5-4 to host Lisnagarvi, and bested Slavia Prague 7-2. This meant qualification for the bronze medal game and a 6-0 win over Scotland's Grange. In Czechia, Hampstead and Westminster were in action and ended up coming back with the Euro Hockey Club Trophy 1 women title. Their pool progress saw them win both games without conceding, a close 1-0 win over Loreto of Ireland, followed by a more comfortable 5-0 win over Amsicora. That set up a final against Scotland's Watsonians, which was locked at 2-2 and looked like a shootout until Tyler Lench got the last-minute winner. Congratulations to Hampstead and Westminster. Here's this week's Premier Division fixtures, starting with Women's Pool A. 2 o'clock for Wimbledon Bowden and Hampstead and Westminster East Grinstead. In Pool A, there are 2 teams already qualified for finals weekend, and they meet on Saturday. Hampstead and Westminster and East Grinstead are through. Will we see changes to the squads, or will the teams choose to play to continue their winning runs? Hampstead and Westminster are on 2 wins, East Grinstead are on 4. Just 1 goal has separated the sides in their previous 2 meetings this season, and both times it's gone the way of the home side. East Grinstead 1, Hampstead 0 in September, Hampstead 4, East Grinstead 3 in March. As we've just heard, Hampstead and Westminster have had a busy Easter. Might that have an impact? East Grinstead's only loss in 2025 came at the hands of Hampstead and Westminster in March, an interesting game in prospect. If the other two teams have qualified, then that means that this is the final match of the season for Wimbledon and Bowdon. They've played this fixture once before in 2024-2025, and it was an impressive 3-0 away win for Bowdon in mid-October. Both sides have had winning runs turn to losing ones, and I'm sure that Bowdon and Wimbledon will be keen to end the season on a high. Women's Pool B. Again, both games 2 o'clock. Loughborough Students, Clifton Robinsons and Surbiton Reading. All the teams have a chance to qualify from Pool B, with Clifton Robinsons, who start the day on 0, having the most unlikely route to the finals weekend. They need to beat Loughborough Students by a big score and need Surbiton to also lose heavily to Reading to make it through on goal difference. Loughborough Students need any sort of win and to also hope for a Surbiton loss. Anything other than a big loss for Reading and an equally large win for Loughborough Students would see them through. A win for Surbiton should be enough to put them through. Loughborough Students threw the form book out the window 2 weeks ago with a debut win against Surbiton, ending a run of 6 losses in a row in the league. They meet a Clifton Robinson side with an outside chance of qualifying. Both teams have to win, so plenty at stake here. This will be a great watch. Their most recent meeting was in October, where Clifton Robinsons won 3-2, so a potentially close game in prospect. Surbiton and Reading have met twice this season. Both have been scoring draws, 4-4 at Reading and 2-2 at Surbiton. Reading will have had no games since April the 12th. Surbiton will have had their EHL exertions. I just have the feeling there'll be a lot of goals in this one. In the women's relegation pool, 2 o'clock again for Sutton Coldfield, University of Birmingham, and also University of Nottingham, Holcombe. It's the end of the line for Sutton Coldfield, and it sees them host city rivals University of Birmingham, which is the reverse of the opening league fixture. Sutton Coldfield have yet to score a goal against University of Birmingham, and University of Birmingham have racked up an impressive 13 against this opponent. University of Birmingham will finish 9th, Sutton Coldfield will finish 12th. I wonder what we'll see given that the pressure is off for both teams. Similarly, this will be the final Prem fixture for Holcombe before they begin life in Division 1 next season. University of Nottingham will finish 10th, Holcombe 11th, and both teams I'm sure will hope to finish the season on a high. There have been a 1-1 draw and a 3-2 University of Nottingham win previously this season. Into the stats. East Grinstead's Bieber Mills is now 4 clear at the top of the goal scoring charts, with 17 now recorded for the season. Darcy Bourne of Surbiton and Mia Moore of Reading are in joint second place with 13. Hampstead and Westminster goalkeeper Miriam Pritchard is still top of the clean sheet table. Mila Welch of East Grinstead and University of Birmingham's Evie Wood are 1 behind on 5 each. Let's look now at men's Pool A. 6 o'clock for Old Georgians and Wimbledon, and 6 o'clock for Hampstead and Westminster, East Grinstead. Matters are pretty much settled in Pool A. Old Georgians and Wimbledon are through. Hampstead and Westminster and East Grinstead are out and are playing their final match of the league season. We'll hear from Wimbledon's Karl Stagno in this week's interview. Old Georgians return to the England Hockey Premier Division from their EHL experience and will hope to return to their league form against a Wimbledon team that they may face in Nottingham in May. Possibility for a few changes of personnel and also a chance to make a point in this fixture. There have been tight but high-scoring games this season. Old Georgians 4, Wimbledon 3 in November, and the only point taken off Old Georgians domestically was in the 5-5 draw with Wimbledon at the end of last month. Definitely one to keep an eye on. The final match of the season for Hampstead and Westminster and East Grinstead. They replay their match from the opening weekend of the season, where East Grinstead were beaten 3-1 at home by Hampstead and Westminster. Again, can either team sign off their season with a win? Men's Pool B, again 6 o'clock for both fixtures, Surbiton Holcombe and Oxted and Beeston. Things are still to be fully decided in Pool B, where the only things that are known is that Surbiton are through and Beeston cannot qualify. Oxted can qualify if they beat Beeston and Surbiton beat Holcombe. There is a scenario where Oxted win and Holcombe lose a shootout against Surbiton. Oxted need to overcome a 4-goal goal difference deficit. Holcombe will qualify with a win or a shootout win. Oxted played Beeston back in October and ended up with a point apiece after an entertaining 2-2 draw. We know Oxted need a win, and I'm sure Beeston will go all out to finish with a win of their own. I think this game will have the most twists and turns of the whole weekend. Surbiton Holcombe. Surbiton have been off with the EHL. Holcombe will have had a week off. Both of the league games this season have been high scoring. Phase 1 was Holcombe 4, Surbiton 4. Phase 2, Surbiton 4, Holcombe 0. Surbiton are on a 3-game domestic winning run. Holcombe would hope for a win to secure passage to finals weekend. Plenty to keep across in this pool. And the 2 fixtures in the men's relegation pool, 6 o'clock for both again, Richmond Bowden and Cardiff Met Southgate. Things are looking tough for Bowden, but not impossible in their quest to stay in the Premier Division for next season. Things are looking tough for Bowden, but not impossible in their quest to stay in the Premier Division for next season. They travel to Richmond, who have already been relegated, hoping to both win big and also hope for a Southgate defeat in Cardiff. And also that they're able to make up a 15-goal deficit in goal difference. Again, not impossible, but very tricky. Southgate know a draw or a win for them would make this academic. Richmond Bowden has thrown up some good games this season. Richmond beat Bowden in October 3-1 and Bowden won 2-1 in the reverse fixture. Richmond will also hope to finish with a good performance too. This is likely to be a very lively match. Cardiff and Met have also been in European action over Easter and scored plenty in the process. Both teams have won their away match this season, and Cardiff know that they'll be playing in the Premier Division again next season. Will Southgate get the point they need, or will Cardiff and Met win to secure an 8th victory this season and possibly open the door for Bowden? Both fixtures will be great to keep an eye on this Saturday. Into the men's stats, he added another in the league a fortnight ago to move to 35 for the season. Sam Ward at Old Georgians is having a stellar season in front of goal. Moving to joint third place is Beeston's Henry Croft and Struan Walker at Surbiton, but both have been leapfrogged by Teague Marcano of Holcombe, who's now on 22. It's as you were in the men's Premier Division for goalkeepers clean sheets. Wimbledon's Ore Ogunlana is on 5 and stays in first place. James Mazzarello at Surbiton is in touch with 4 in second place. Tickets are on sale for the finals weekend at the Nottingham Hockey Centre on the 3rd and 4th of May. Make sure you head to the England Hockey website to get yours now. This week it's a pleasure to speak to Dr. Karl Stagno from Wimbledon. How are you doing today?
Oh, very well indeed. Thanks for having me.
As Wimbledon are already qualified for finals weekend, it's a trip to Old Georgians. Are you going to stick or twist with the team selection?
Yeah, our team's our team. We obviously trained last night. We've got training session tomorrow. We have our established players, but we also have a very competitive squad. So, whilst I'm not intending in making any major changes, we always select on a week-by-week basis. We make sure the players know that, and we try and make sure that there's a healthy competitive vibe around the group. I think that's healthy. So whilst I'm not intending in doing many changes, I'll let the players decide by the way they train on Thursday.
Did you get to see Old Georgians at the weekend in the EHL?
Yes, I managed to see a lot of the hockey this weekend, and saw both of their games, and also saw both of Surbiton games and a few others. So a little bit of additional preparation. Of course, you've got that additional week of rest before the game too. Yeah, we do, but I think it's very different watching them play in Europe against teams who are that strong. I mean, Old Georgians are the strongest team in the league. Closely matched by Surbiton, I would say. Those two are by far the strongest. So I wouldn't take anything really from the EHL games. In terms of our preparation, we have our own game plan to play, and we have our own part to play, which is very different to watching them play Rotterdam or the Belgium side, the Leopold on the second day. Well, it was good to see them play and see what they did there. So with qualification in the bag, the team looking forward to finals weekend? Yeah, definitely. I think that was the general aim for us, is to be at the very top regularly, year in, year out. And I think now that we're there, the boys are really looking forward to see where they can go from that. But it's a great experience. I think everyone's very excited, really. Indeed, that's 3 finals weekends in a row, if my memory serves me correctly. Yeah, that's it, and the same with the indoors as well. So that's kind of what we try and achieve, and what we're trying to do with the club and the players, and Like I said to you before, we're a different team and a different club to the likes of Old Georgians and the way they do their business. We try and develop younger players, and therefore our aims are much more of a nurturing kind.
You're a familiar face around the hockey scene and have been for a long time, both as a player and a coach. If you'd like to take us through your coaching and playing journey.
Oh crikey! Yeah, it's quite. Good. So first time, obviously, came to the country in '97 as a student. Signed for Surbiton, played for Surbiton for best part of 10 years. That included the team that got Surbiton promoted from the old Division One. We won the league for the first time. I think it was in 2001. I was part of that team. Then I coached Surbiton, I believe, for about 4 or 5 years. Then I coached East Grinstead for about 4 or 5 years there. And then we had a couple of years, 2 years, I think, was 1 year out. And then I got offered the job at Wimbledon and coached them. I think it's now my 8th year. So that's kind of been my playing coaching career here in the UK. I came to the UK, I think I was 22 at the time. So yeah, been here for ever since.
And as well as that, you're a familiar face in the school scene as well.
So from a school point of view, yes. So from a school point of view, I started this job at Whitgift as director for hockey in 2011. Before that, I was director of hockey at the Royal Grammar School in Guildford, where I was a teacher as well. And before that, I'd been in university doing my PhD. After I finished my degree, I decided, instead of going into academia, I decided to go into teaching, and then very quickly took over the hockey at the school, and I'm now just director for hockey at Whitgift, which is something that I do love, and I have a lot of passion for.
Well, hockey is in the blood, and I think it's in the family blood as well, if my research is correct too.
Yeah, well, yeah, my dad used to play back home, and my cousin played, and then he was an umpire, and my cousin Nathan has also gone, to do quite an illustrious umpiring career. I think the pinnacle being he umpired the World Cup final between Australia and Holland. Don't ask me the date; I can't remember, but I think he got to do that. So yeah, it's been a hockey family, really.
Nice light question to finish as well. Do you have a favourite result or performance of the season so far?
Oh, no, that's a good one. That's a good one. There's been some very there's a mixture. I would say that they've all been like the last phases. So like the last game we played against Old Georgians, where we drew 5-5. I mean, I thought we played really well, and we found ourselves 2 goals down twice. So I thought the boys, dug into it and kept them going against a very, very good side. And we were able to get a 5-5 draw. I think the measure in which we did that was actually quite good. But perhaps the one I enjoyed the most was the 5-1 win against East Grinstead last week. A team that we felt that we should beat. A team that has potential strengths that we had to manage. But I think the way we went about it, I thought everyone played their part. They stuck to the game plan, and on the day they were really ruthless. It was a game that by winning we would guarantee a place in the playoffs, and it could also have been a potential banana skin. So I thought that was a really good summation of what we're about.
Karl Stagno, thank you so much for your time, and good luck for the rest of the season, and see you at finals weekend.
Thank you very much, Andy, and thanks for having me, and hopefully I'll see you up there.
For all the latest, England Hockey will keep you updated with the headlines via their website and also via Facebook and Instagram. Do stop by and give us a follow. I've been your host, Andy Day. This is the final week of play. See you again next time for the preview for the EHL Finals weekend.